Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Everything Gaming News. What's in the news today? Steam. A big pile of steam. All right, before we jump into this, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons that help keep you up to date with what we like to talk about, video games. All right, let me just pull this out here so you can read along with me. Valve admits its Steam Machine and Steam Frame will be delayed due to RAM and storage price surges. Now expected to arrive in the first half of 2026, Valve time strikes again. 3 months after announcing a trio of new hardware products, including the Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and Steam Controller, Valve has published a blog post detailing their delay. The new hardware was meant to arrive in the first quarter of the year, but this has now been revisited to the first half of the year due to the memory and storage shortages you all likely heard about. The Steam Machine is likely the major catalyst behind the decision, as a sharp rise in RAM and storage prices could force a rethink for a living room box that was intended to bridge the gap between consoles and entry-level PCs. With RAM and storage prices doubling, tripling, and even quadrupling over the past 3 months, even the relatively modest base model with the 16 gigs of RAM, DDR5, and the 512 gig will now cost significantly more to produce. For context, the cheapest 16 gig DDR5 sodomy kit has more than double in price on Amazon UK from £67. Nick, you can do the math on that. On Valve's November announcement date to £148 today. A 512 gig 2230 NVMe SSD of the type used by Valve in the Steam Machine has also rocketed up in price from £54 to £88. That's a lot of pounds. In the same period, if we look at the 2 terabyte drives in a steeper climb from 129 to 244, Valve isn't paying consumer prices from Amazon, of course, but these prices surge are a worldwide affair that have affected nearly every part of the PC industry. This situation could even postpone the release of the next generation of game consoles. While the Steam Machine is the most obviously affected, the Steam Frame VR headset is also a miniature Snapdragon-powered gaming PC with its own 16 gigs of LPDDR5X memory and 256 gigabytes or 1 terabyte storage, and its pricing will therefore need to be reconsidered. Previously, Valve had indicated that it expected the frame to undercut the Valve Index in price, which retails for £919. The Steam controller is the only member of the trio relatively immune to the current climate, though its launch is necessarily tied to the other two products. Valve post states that it expected to be able to share pricing and availability data by now, so it will be interesting to see how long it will take the Washingtonian firm to release revised information. In the meantime, you can check out the recent blog and blah, blah, blah. So let me just close this because y'all don't need it no more. Okay. So we all know all this crap is going up and up and up. It's been going up for a while. And now with the shortages and the push for AI just violating these markets, I mean, it's gross. It truly is just a gross thing to watch. So these two nerds here with me are techies. They're my tech support. They come over and ask me if I turn the computer on and if it's plugged in when I have problems. So let's jump to them. So Nick, I really like that shirt, but I like Pat's better. So Pat, what do you think, bud?
Did you turn it off and back on again? Yeah, I mean, I've even put my own new build on hold because I had actually priced out a whole new build. I did PC Price Builder quite a while ago and was put my component list together, and then I was planning on starting to bring all the parts in beginning of this year. But between when I put my parts list together and the PC that I was going to build, the build was going to cost just under $2,000 more than what I initially budgeted because of the memory, storage, and GPU price increases, because we lost a major player in the market who decided to stop making memory for the consumer market with Crucial. And then NVIDIA reducing their output because they're wanting to focus on AI, and then AI gobbling up all the storage. So, those three components there, memory like quadrupled in price. GPUs are like insanely expensive again, kind of like when we had the crypto mining crap. And then, memory or storage has typically never suffered over the years, right? Storage was one of those things that was relatively always inexpensive, except when a new technology came out, right? We first went to SSDs, and then when we went from SSDs over to the NMDs, the form factor change anyway on that. And then now it's like storage has even gotten hit by this problem. So to me, I can understand where Valve is coming from, because I put my new build on hold for probably at least a year in hopes that the AI market collapses. It's a bad thing to say, but at the same time, I want my computer components, and since they're affecting the want that I have, then I hope that they don't do so well. That's just the way it is. They're affecting me personally to the point where and I'm a proponent of AI, but at the same time, AI is hosing the consumer market, which is what they probably want anyway. Everybody wants to drive especially gamers, to streaming, and you don't need a big, powerful computer to stream games. But I'll be damned, I'm not streaming shit for gaming. I want to play my games locally and do all this stuff. Luckily, my computer's not in bad shape, but I wanted to get ahead of it. And then I usually like to take my secondary machine and turn it into something like a rendering farm, or, a multimedia center for my house. My old multimedia center PC died. I'm like, well, I don't have one to store all my movies and stuff on that I was. So, so a central media center PC would what I probably would term this one into, but it's going to stay as my primary gaming machine for at least another year. Hopefully with next year's things lining out, with AI, either the market's self-correcting or being able to level off with AI usage, either leveling off or dying out, just depends on where things are headed. But right now it does affect me. So I can imagine what Valve is feeling, or any large, Sony and Microsoft, what they're facing with the memory shortages and storage costs. It's just driving costs up. It'll be a driving factor, but it'll also just be an excuse too, right? So if these are all theoretical and hypothetical shit that I'm pulling out my ass, but if the Xbox and PlayStation was going to be $700 next year due to the price increases, or $800, Sony and Microsoft will use that as an excuse to make $1,000 or $1,200 console. Just so they can say, oh, well, GPU, memory, storage, all that stuff tripled and quadrupled. So we took that $500 console and made it $1,000 or $1,200.
Microsoft's already doing that with their current console.
Yeah, I mean, they had two price increases in a single freaking year. They're not fooling anybody. They're just trying to push everybody away from their console. So they would even be more apt to do that. But, if you see the Switch jump in price too, because of memory increases, you could see them jump in prices. I mean, that's been a fear for a little while, is the increase of the Switch. I don't know. I feel for them. Nobody's making anything affordable in the gaming computer market these days, just because of all the memory shortages and all this stuff. It's insane. It's going to make the cost of everything go up. Ultimately, when you think about it, your work needs new laptops or new PCs. Well, I mean, laptops shouldn't be too affected by it too much. I mean, because, laptop memory, SODIMMs, all this stuff is different technology than what's in your desktop, and they're not usually running, and I'm talking about work machines, workhorse machines, and not necessarily, gaming and all this stuff. GPU and those things are non-existent. It's all memory and storage. So storage might affect those laptops, but cost of business will start going up. Workstations will start to get expensive because of the memory and storage issues. Everything is just going to be affected by AI gobbling up every ounce of resources it can get. We're already going to, a lot of places across the country in the United States are already seeing upticks in, utility costs because the AI data centers are causing a strain on the local power plants, right? So they're having to, think forward and like, well, we need to increase our plant output, or we need to build another plant, or we need to do this. I mean, hell, Microsoft's trying to fire up an old defunct, is there 3 Mile Island? Is that the one that Microsoft's trying to bring back? I can't remember which one they're trying to
I don't remember which one, but
they're trying to bring back a nuclear power plant.
They're trying to create Fallout, the live action version.
Yeah. So they're wanting to, try to bring back, which, I'm all for nuclear power. We need nuclear power in this country. It's, it's a good alternative to what's out there. So, or we, start making, strives in the free energies out there, and I'm not an expert in this, but, I can't remember, fission is the one that they're trying to like make, right? Nuclear fusion plants are the new technology everybody's racing towards, where they make lots of strides in the last few years. And I thought it was a dead thing, that people were just pipe dreaming it. Now it sounds like it's really close to being a reality. China's got some promising stuff out there. The US and other countries have a lot of promising technologies that they're working towards. So that'll be cool. But it's driving some technological advancements because of the need, but at the same time, the consumers are the one that are paying for it and are going to struggle with it in the end.
I don't know how anybody can make power going fishing.
Well, I don't know. You know how you make power going fishing? You drink beer, and that makes more power.
Makes them pee.
Yeah, that makes you keep going though too. It'd be cold as shit outside, and you're drinking beer and fishing. You're going to keep going to drink more beer.
Well, you got to drink the beer to keep warm.
Exactly. So see, there you go. So yeah, like I said, that's where I'm at. I'm annoyed with it. And I think AI has its place, and I am not against AI in general. I am just against it affecting the consumer market because all these technology companies are abandoning the consumer market. And like I said, I cross my fingers to the day that Crucial has to bow out of the AI market because it's not fulfilling their needs the way they want. They come crawling back to the consumers, and we tell them we give them a big old fuck you and move on, because I will never buy Crucial Memory again. You abandon the consumer market, we abandon you. So that's the way I look at it. I have a little bit, I wish that AMD's GPUs were way better than NVIDIA's, but they're not. They're just not. I don't care what people are saying. They're not better. The top end NVIDIA GPUs are better than AMD's. If AMD could come close to the top end or even surpass them, I'd say a big fuck you to NVIDIA, because they're doing the same thing. They're abandoning the consumer market. But unfortunately, we don't have anything, what is it? Intel. Is Intel the one pushing the new GPUs out there? Yeah, but they're not they're not like top end or anything either. So for me, I'm still stuck with an NVIDIA, but I can't afford a new NVIDIA anyway. So I don't know what I'm even talking about. Nick, what about you, man? What are your thoughts on all this crap?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said. It sucks for Valve, and especially I don't know when they'll be able to put something out at market, right? They say by the half of this year, but I don't think anything's going to be better. It might even be worse by the time half of the year gets here. So are they going to be able to push anything to market? And if they do, it's going to be so overly priced. It's going to be like their Steam machines, where it's just not going to work out, right? And it's not going to work out for them in regards to these because of price, right? I don't think it's because of the items or the way they're going about it. I think the way that Steam Valve is going about it this time around, I think is a much better approach, but it could just be price that hinders them, right? And makes it a failed proposition or a failed piece of merchandise other than what it could have been, right? Which is probably successful if it didn't have to compete with memory and storage prices, right? So yeah, I mean that's going to hurt a lot of things, right? And it's already doing so. I think I don't know. I've heard some ramblings of like OpenAI having a lot of people that got with OpenAI are going, uh-oh, because it's like doing bad or something's going wrong with it. I don't know. I didn't really read the specifics. Maybe Pat might know more about it than me, but yeah, I mean, I understand the whole AI thing, but I'm like, I'm so over it personally. Like I'm ready for it to go away. I mean, I'm the old man on the get off my lawn, yelling at the clouds, I guess. I'm tired of it. Like I'm tired of the AI stuff and everything like that. Like even my phone, like listening to me and shit. Like I've turned all that stuff off on there. Like I'm sure it still listens even though I have it turned off. But I mean, like I've turned all that stuff off because I'm just annoyed by it. Like even when I'm not talking to it, it like pops on like, oh, you needed something? Like I'm not talking to you, stupid machine. And so I'm like, no, I don't want any of this shit. Like I'm tired of like, yeah, it is more like, what was it, accessible or like makes it things a lot easier in the sense of like only being able to tell something that you want to do something and it does it, right? But in the end, like I don't know, I kind of want to go back to the old days where I had to write it down on a piece of paper. So I don't know, I'm getting kind of sick of the I guess crotchety.
Yeah. Grouchy.
Crotchety.
Crunchy.
Everybody's getting tired of AI, and we've reached that AI saturation point where I think that people are just overall like completely over. They're just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's
exhausted.
It's just inundated, exhausted. Everybody's like exhausted of hearing. It's a different word I'm looking for. I just can't remember. No. But everybody's reached that saturation point where they're tired of hearing about AI. And every time we hear about something that AI is taking away from us again, we're annoyed as shit, right? AI is taking away a bunch of stuff. But yeah, OpenAI is in trouble. They're hemorrhaging money. I think I'd read somewhere that they're insolvent at the current point. They're like spending $1 billion a month and they're not making that much money. So
yeah. And a lot of businesses like launch or
move their own, like Gemini, Google has their own and Microsoft has their own. Everybody kind of abandoned them and went their own direction. So
everybody used AI to create their own AI,
pretty much.
And that's what kills me is AI has really, in just my everyday life, AI has done just nothing for me. It really hasn't, far as what I do on a professional level or a personal level. The only thing AI has done is allow you to watch Disney porn and just screw up your phone and listen in on it. I mean, it's like, well, Nick was talking. Now, how many times have we had conversations, and I mean one-on-one, face-to-face conversations, and you go look at your phone a minute later and there's hey, did you guys want to buy this? The shit you were just talking about?
Yeah, I hate that shit too. But I mean,
it's just, no.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like I don't want to. Just because I talked about it doesn't mean you need to give me 20 ads on the stupid thing. Like, doesn't mean I want to purchase it.
Oh yeah, I've been working on my daughter's college stuff, helping her out. Doing all those scholarships and trying to set up the school stuff. And man, I have gotten so many effing emails from all these colleges. We'll say colleges. I think they're most dog shit. Hey, come to Butthole U and do this, or, hey, free scholarship money here. It's like, come on. If I want this stuff, I'm going to go search it up. I never asked, for it, and I don't want it in my goddamn emails. Pardon my language. It's just this AI and invasiveness of the technology right now is just gross.
Especially with AI. A lot of businesses trying to, businesses that you work in trying to force it into employees. Into utilizing it. Like, our job where me and Pat work, they're trying to integrate it into things, And I remember a while back they had a survey that went out, and it was an AI survey asking people like, it's an anonymous survey, but it was basically just asking people like, what AI platform do they use now? What do they use it for? And various things like that. And there wasn't an option of I don't use any, because that was mine. I'm like, I really don't. Like, I don't use it to write AI or write emails or anything. I know a lot of people use it for that, and various other things. Like, I don't use it at all.
No.
Like, I don't use it to write my emails. I don't use it for anything. And not that I have tried that with it, but it's just not for me personally. Right. And I'm just talking about myself. Like, I don't know. I guess again, I guess I'm old fashioned in that sense. Like, I want to do it myself. I don't want something to do it for me. And so even though it's convenient, right. In those situations, and I don't want to have to integrate that type of stuff into my everyday life in that way. But that's just me, right? I mean, everyone's through their own thing, and it is what it is. So
you just have to ask yourself, what is the cost of making things easier? What's it truly going to cost to have AI write your email? What's it going to cost to have AI do this program for you for your job? What's it going to cost to have this AI do your job? People I don't think regular people are not thinking about that in the long run. I don't, I've used AI to do some of our images and stuff to find certain things, but very seldom. And the only reason I do is because I don't have enough time to do everything I want in an image. And sometimes it is easier to just go to, AI website and say, hey, I want a picture of, Kratos riding My Little Pony through space, whatever random crap. It is easier to do that sometimes, but, I don't want to lose my job because I'm training a computer to do my job. That's the scariest part for me. Wasn't it Microsoft? I think it was King Games. They trained them to do something with AI and then said, man, that's awesome. You're all fired. They got rid of a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember if it was
been
King
a while
Games
back,
or.
But I want to say,
yeah, they laid off like 200 people after they did like this big old AI stint. I think it was King Games.
So, we have to be very cautious about what AI is going to cost us in the long run. And right now it's
costing us a Steam machine.
Yeah. And it's going to cost us next gen consoles.
And a Steam frame.
And a Steam frame and a Steam controller. Yeah. Speaking of Steam,
come out, but.
Let's end this thing because I'm going to go drop a steamer. All right. So you guys got anything else
using AI
to this sad, heartbreaking, very
AI
costly topic?
steamer.
AI steamer.
No.
All right. You made it to the end of the video. Tell us what you think. Is AI going to be worth it? Is AI okay to you to make your Steam machine go from $500-$600 to $800-$900 or more? Are you okay with Steam delaying it? Do you think Steam should have bought all their crap ahead of time? They're in the know, they're in the tech world, so I don't know. But let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Do you like Pat's shirt better than Nick's? Because I'm really leaning on Pat's shirt. I like that shirt. Can't stop looking at it. All right.
Can't stop looking at Pat. That's really.
I like the way his beard tickles Zanetsi. All right. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons that help keep you up to date. And we'll see you later. See ya.